I want to talk a little bit about neuropathy. I was just talking with Josh about how I'm having a lot of pain today, a lot. And yet I'm having a lot of numbness too. There are days the numbness is just so bad, other days it's not as bad. But I just was telling Josh that, if somebody had said to me years ago, you can be really numb, like if your arm had fallen asleep, the worst that it's ever fallen asleep. And yet, at the same time as being so numb, you can feel so much pain. So much awful, agonizing pain. It's like, how can you be numb and feel all that pain at the same time? It makes no sense. And I just don't think that most people, if they don't have neuropathy, if they're not going through this, I don't think most people would understand. And it's sad because it's such an awful thing. And you need all the support you can get to get through this because of how bad it is. And yet, people are like, oh, like one told me, get on with your new life. What new life? I can't hardly do anything. I'm in constant pain, and the pain is so bad that I can't sleep good. And when you don't sleep good, then you end up with even more issues because sleep is when your body heals. And how awful that I keep finding the ones to say awful things, don't I? How awful to say, well, get on with your new life. Or to say, well, you're not healed because God doesn't think you're worthy. I just cannot believe some of the stuff that some of these people come up with. And to say, and especially when you've been saying how bad it is, it's like kicking a puppy when it's down, I mean, I wouldn't do it, never. But that's about what it's like. I'm already so depressed so much of the time and in so much pain and upset because I can't do the things that I used to do. I try and do what I can, but it's so little. And it's one of the worst things that I've ever gone through in my life. And I know Josh says, well, because God wants you to understand so that when you have your channel going, people know that you really do understand. And that's all fine and dandy. But hey, I understand. I don't need to go through it anymore. But even before going through this, I was pretty understanding. I might not have went through exactly what you are going through, but I was pretty understanding and compassionate and trying to be supportive. But there's people out there nowadays that supportive, they don't know the word. They have no idea. And I've had some that got upset because I said about how Timmy's aunt, how I think she's used her money for drugs. Yeah, I do. And it upsets me because she's putting her life at risk and she used to be such a nice person. And then, yeah, too, there's the fact that when we don't have hardly any money coming in, she's got all this money and everything is paid for her. It would be nice if she would help us because we've helped her for over 20 years since Josh was just little. And yet she doesn't seem to want to help. She says she helps. Maybe in her mind she does. I don't know. But I wouldn't want any of my friends to be buying drugs and taking a chance of ending up dying. Especially after Timmy, what happened to him. And yet it seems like, and I don't know for sure when it all started for the rest of them, but it seems like so much of her family, they're all on drugs and drinking. If you weren't already there to where you're addicted and you just can't seem to get off of it, then why would you want to get started when your nephew died because of this stuff? And then I'm hearing things about how they're putting fentanyl even in weed and stuff. So I like to watch some true crime stuff. And I watched one, and she was talking about this woman that she killed her husband. She gave him enough fentanyl. I think she said it would have killed like 10 people. And it takes such a small amount, So she did that, and then I guess she wrote a book about it and made a bunch of money, but now they found out what she did. But if it's such a small amount and they're putting it in everything, that is really, really scary. Because what if you think you're just getting some weed because it helps for your pain? Which is something that I've actually thought about because of how it's legal in Michigan. And I've seen things on groups where the people have talked about that their doctor even wrote prescriptions for it because it helps. So yeah, I'm tempted to try it. But if there's a possibility that it might have fentanyl in, and I know if you go to a dispensary that it should be safe, but how can they guarantee that everything they have is safe? I mean, they buy it from people, and yeah, it's people that have the permission and can grow it, but when they're putting it in so much stuff and it takes such a small amount, I don't know. There's a part of me that it'd be nice not to have all this pain. But yet again, it's like, is it worth that chance if it might have something in it? I don't know. But I'd rather try the weed and see if that would help than to be on prescription medications. And I talked to Chris the other day and said there's times it is so bad that I'm tempted to see. But yet I've seen things where it says that these prescription drugs, they don't even touch the pain so much of it, So why should I take a chance of maybe getting addicted and it's not really going to help for the pain anyway? And he right away was like, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want, you could end up addicted. No, so it's like, okay. I understand. That's why I haven't done it in the first place. But you don't understand either because you have no idea exactly how painful this is. And when it keeps you from sleeping, then you're sleep deprived and that causes all kinds of issues. And it's just this big snowball effect. And yeah, it all goes back to her, that woman that T-boned us. And I am still angry. And you know what? Anybody that doesn't understand that, you don't understand what I'm going through. Because I've had people tell, and Chris too, you need to forgive her. How can I forgive her when I gotta say it, she did it on purpose. I mean, when you come over the hill and I'm down the road a ways, you see my lights, you see I'm in a little car, you see that there's no field access, and yet there's a big drop off to a field to the right. My light is on for me turning to the left into a driveway, and yet you go out and around anyway. I heard her tell the cops she saw the lights and she went out and around anyway. So how is that an accident? She never tried to stop. She never tried to slow down. There was no marks on the road, and I made sure that the cop took pictures. No marks. That means she never tried to avoid us, to stop, nothing. And she hit us going over 60 miles an hour when she was in an Acadia, a big vehicle, and we were in a little Hyundai. And thank God that Hyundai was like a tank because that's what saved us. Because as hard as she hit us and spun us around, all the damage that she did, we're lucky we're here. And Chris even said that, and it's true. So how can I forgive her if it was an accident? If there was one little itty bitty mark on there that she had tried to stop, tried to avoid us, then yeah, I could tell myself, okay, it was an accident. She didn't mean it. But not with the way everything was, and there was no marks. And another thing that really pisses me off is I'm supposed to avoid stress, and yet all these people that don't understand, they're, oh, you need to forgive her. You need to forgive her. I can't. Maybe sometime in this lifetime I will. Hell, maybe it'll be when I'm all better, and I'm praying that happens. But, don't keep telling me you need to forgive her, because I'm telling you right now, if you had to be in my shoes, if you had to be like this and go through the pain that I go through and the fact that I can't do things like I used to, I got to have help just to be able to go back and forth, to be able to go to the bathroom. I can't fix my own food or get a drink if I'm thirsty. I can't walk on my own. And yet somebody, Timmy's aunt, she not only walks, but she can run across the yard But then she tells her boyfriend, oh, she can't walk. She does the running when he can't see her because he's on the other side of the trailer. And then she tries to say she's so bad that she's worse than me. Let me tell you something, honey. If you can go and flop down in a chair and then all of a sudden jump up and run across the yard, and it is not a small yard, if you can do that, you are nowhere near like me, because I can't even walk on my own. You understand that? I can't walk on my own, let alone think about running. And the pain today is really bad, so I'm not in a very good mood, and I think you can tell that. This is so hard. And it's so hard when people don't understand and say awful things. And yet, with me like this, I'm still going through and being supportive to my friends on Facebook, people that sound really depressed or suicidal. Bad times, and I try to be supportive. Who does that? If I was such a bad person, I would think of myself, and that's all I would think about, and I wouldn't even care about anybody else. And yet you're telling me that, oh, if God thought I was worthy, he would heal me. Well, you know what? The hell with you. I think I better go. I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm not in a good mood because of it. And because of the nasty things some people have been saying to me. I'm making this channel because I want to help people. And all I need is a little support. A little understanding. The insurance companies still haven't even paid for my car. They've paid nothing. They give me the runaround. They don't answer me. It's just... And yet, somebody I know, she had where she was hit by a drunk driver about the time that we were T-boned. And she's had a new vehicle for a long time because her insurance came through. I don't know. I just want things to get better. You all take care.